For letter I, we're going to do a big 2 on the outside. So this is like 2 times square root of 32 x to the third. All right. And so hopefully when you look at this, you realize there's no number on the outside, so that means we're looking for pairs. And remember, whatever comes out, we're going to have to multiply by 2. Okay, so we're looking for pairs here. I'll start to break this down. We're going to go with 16 and 2. And then I'm going to keep going here to 4 and 4. And notice the 4s would break down, but that's already a pair. So I'm going to end it right there and circle that because I've got a pair of 4s. Okay. So now on the outside, we've got the 2 that we started with. We've got this pair of 4s. Okay. We know on the inside, we've got a leftover here. We've got that leftover 2 on the inside. Now we got to break down the x. And the x, this is x times x times x, because it's x to the third. And again, we're looking for pairs. So we get a pair of x's. That comes to the outside. And then we've got 1 x left over. That goes to the inside. And so my final answer, 2 times 4 is 8. 8x times the square root of 2x. And so we end up with our final answer there. That was letter I. Let's go to letter J. Letter J looks like this. This time we're going to do the cube root of 54 x to the 9th power. So this is a little miniature 3 here because this is the cube root, telling me that I need 3 of a kind if I want to move outside of the radical. So I can start to break this down. 27 times 2. And I'll keep going here. We can do 9 times 3. And I'll keep going here. 3 times 3. And then, so notice now, like at the bottom here, we've got 2, 3, 3, and 3. Right, those are all prime, so I'm going to stop there. Okay, and we're looking for 3 of a kind. So I get a group. And in this case, it is a group of 3s. So they're going to be moving outside of the radical. But then still on the inside of the radical, we've got a leftover. We've got that leftover 2. So we've got a leftover 2 there. We haven't dealt with the x, the variable, yet, so we're going to go ahead and do that. This is x to the 9th, which is like x times x times x times x times x times x. Okay, there's 9 of them, which is going to give me 1, 2, 3 groups. So they all move out. I got 3 groups, so that's x to the 3rd on the outside of the radical. And no leftover x's for this one, so there's no more x's in the radical. That was J. Let's go to letter K. K looks like this. We're going to do 5, big 5, times the cube root of 1,000. So we've got a cube root, so we're looking for 3 of a kind here. And whatever comes out, we'll multiply it by 5. So in this case, I can start to break this down. I know if I do 100 times 10, that will give me 1,000. And I'm going to do this again. I can go 10 times 10 gives me 100. And hopefully we notice here we can stop, right? Because we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got a 3 of a kind there. So we've got our group, 3 of a kind. And I'm going to take that, move it outside the radical. So now we're going to have 5, which was already there, times this group, which is 10s, times 10. And notice there's no leftovers. There's no hanging fruit here that isn't accounted for. Okay. And so there's nothing left in the radical. My final answer here is just 50. All right. Now we're going to look at adding and subtracting radicals. Just a few more problems here. We'll call this example 2. And basically we can add radicals kind of like adding like terms. So the first couple won't be too bad. We'll call this letter A. If I've got something that looks like this, 6 square roots of 2 minus 4 square roots of 2. Then I can just combine those like terms basically. So since they're both square roots of 2, I'm just going to do 6 of them minus 4 of them. Well, that'll leave me 2 square roots of 2. So I just took 6 minus 4, okay, and it left me with 2 square roots of 2. Let's look at letter B. This time we've got 3 square root of 4 plus square root of 16. Okay. So notice this is a big 3 here, not a cube root. This is just 3 times the square root of 4. So we know that the square root of 4, if I broke this down looking for pairs, that would be 2 times 2. I would get my pair there. So they would move outside. 3 times 2 would give me 6 here. Plus square root of 16, well, hopefully we know that's just 4. So plus 4. And these are just whole numbers here. 6 plus 4 is going to give me 10. Let's go to letter C. For this one, let's do the cube root of 4 plus 2 times the square root of 64. Okay, so for this one, we can start to try to break this down. This would go into 2 and 2, and that's as far as it goes. And we need groups of 3, right? So we're just stuck there. That's not going to help me at all. Okay, so this is just going to stay exactly as it is. Okay, so that's still going to be the cube root of 4. Over here, though, we can break this down. 64 is going to turn into 8 times 8. And that's the pair that I'm looking for. So they get married, they move out. There's already a 2 waiting for them out there. So this is going to turn into 2 times 8, which is 16. And then notice these are not like terms, right? So I cannot combine them, so I'm just stuck leaving those separate. All right, almost there. 3 more problems. Let's go to letter D. And let's go with this. We'll go with 6 times the square root of 8 plus 3 times the square root of 18. Okay, so notice the 6 and the 3, those are big numbers, right? And these are just normal square roots. So for normal square roots, we're always looking for pairs. I'm going to start to break this thing down. 4 times 2, and then 2 times 2. So we get a group there. There's already 6 on the outside, so when I do 6 times 2, I'm going to end up with 12. But we do have a leftover here. We have a leftover square root of 2. And then on the other side, or over here to the right, I'm going to do 9 times 2. And then 3 times 3, which gives me a pair. I already have a 3 on the outside waiting, so 3 times this pair. 3 times 3 gives me 9. And again, I have a leftover here, so I still have square root of 2 there. And now since I have the same radicals here, they're both square roots of 2 again, I can go ahead and combine this. 12 square roots of 2 plus 9 square roots of 2 gives me 21 square roots of 2.